Part 2. Part 2. Back in the Ranger. Tina got off work, went and dropped off her car at the mechanics. And we'll see if anybody's gonna show up. I was watching Direct D was on there the other night, the loudmouth from Arizona, the one that's in hiding. And I had complimented him because I'd always warned him about the rats and snitches he was hanging out with. And I'd complimented him on his channel for saying, hey, at least he never blocked me. At least he never took away my First Amendment right to speak. Well, he had a live stream the other night. And I went over there and I was going to comment to Direct D's live stream, and he blocked me. I could type, and on my page it showed that I typed it. But on the TV, when I was watching the live chat, I was nowhere to be found. So these free speech absolutists, and I will be one. I do silence people on my channel. I do, and they'll attack, and they'll attack, and they'll attack, and then they'll go beyond just attacking with words. Then they go into making phone calls, trying to get people evicted, trying to get people fined. That's when they try to get me kicked out of my house. I've had them call law enforcement on me. People are evil, and it's always the cowardly people. Listen, I've never in my life vandalized someone's vehicle because I was mad at them. Now, my ex-wife, when she's running around on me, I bought brand new tires for her, and she was out cheating on me and had my kids out all night. So I went up there with my big old Gerber knife, went and whacked the tires on her Ford Taurus because I bought them. She ain't gonna have my daughters out all night in the dope zone. So that's the only vehicle vandalization I've ever done. It's not exactly vandalizing the car when it's your own car. So I would just as soon use my words as opposed to physically tearing up something. It's like the Hickory Crawdads are having a ball game tonight. We're at the Crawdad Stadium. It's where all this traffic is coming around me. But these guys, it makes me so mad that they abuse our First Amendment. They don't care. They don't care anything about accountability. They don't care anything about why is my truck hot and there's not air. Where's my air at? Where's my air at? Come on, air. Chill out. They don't care about accountability. They don't care about it. They go out and they get violated by the cops, and they're like, look at there. All they got to do is post on their channel, tyrant assaulted me. Boom. Views through the I mean, just like crazy. Roof. Or I got arrested. Boom. Views through the roof because people want to see people get arrested. But they won't sue. They won't do anything. And the channels that are actually making a difference are the ones who are suing. I mean, Long Island Audit. I didn't care much for Sean when he first came on. And I put the best and the test to him as well. Are you going to sue? And Sean's, I mean, you like a little bit about everybody, but you don't like everything about one person. I mean, if you do, you can. That ain't my style. But some people, I'm a manly man. I just don't being polite, and I cringe a lot on a lot of these videos. I can't stand for somebody to just sit there and just demean and cuss and gripe and complain to somebody else. I'm a Southern guy. I'm not rude. I'm not naturally rude. When it's time to go off, I go off. I'll go to the moon to go off on you. But just sitting there and chewing on somebody just because you can, because they're a public servant, that ain't my deal. And you guys have seen this being on my channel any amount of time. I used to do all the Freedom of Information Act requests. I used to do all the complaints, did all that. Every time I went, and I realized something was strange. Back when I had audited the State Bureau of Investigation, they came out with their AR-15s because some snitch in a Corvette called on me because I'm out there with my guns on my side and I was recording the building. Well, then I go to the airport to find out who was actually in the airplane stalking me. Well, I found out all that good information. I did not know this. But after that, after I went to the airport, and that woman called the lawman to try to get me arrested for being at the airport asking questions, she absolutely, she dead into me. She didn't want to give me any information. She didn't want to answer any questions. It was just a hell no, because she knew exactly who I was. The people at the airport were stalking me. And then when I showed up over there, it was like, oh God, we got problems now. Because at our local airport, it's a public airport. And I walk in there with my guns on. I don't care. I don't go anywhere without my guns. Not going nowhere without my guns. Everywhere I go, I got my pistols on my side. Period. We're in North Carolina. We open carry in North Carolina. Our gun crime is not out of control in North Carolina because we open carry guns. Not a big deal. So when I want to do a Freedom of Information Act, because the woman at the airport pretty much just said, hell no, you ain't getting no information, I go to the city of Hickory. And I walk in there, and I'm always polite, because I'm always polite. Just always polite. I don't see any situation. It is not an honest review of someone's character or customer service when you're the jerk first. It's not an honest review of their customer service, because our government's supposed to be in the service industry. It is not a business. Government's not in business. It should be ran like a business, like Donald Trump did, but it is not a business. It's customer service. They owe us. We pay the bills, and they're supposed to make it convenient for us. Although, time after time, they do not. So I go to the city of Hickory, and you guys saw the video. A woman comes downstairs. She's so nice. Everybody in there is so extremely polite, and it was short talk. She wasn't into pleasantry. She wasn't polite, but she wasn't rude. It was just, I'm here to take your public records request. Nothing. No extra questions. Nothing. And I got my request in about 2 weeks' time. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, that was quick. That was easy. Maybe they just got it together here. And I did a bunch of requests and complaint process at the Hickory City Police Department, City of Hickory Police Department. And I'm like, wow, this is weird. Why is it so easy for me? And then my buddy who worked for the city of Hickory, he came by the house. He lives a couple blocks over from where I do. He showed up over there. He said, hey, man. He said, I need to tell you something. And I said, what? And me and him have partied since I was 12 years old. He's like a year or two older than me. I used to go over there and get drunk, party at his house all the time. So we know each other. Known each other a long time. He knew me when I was an idiot, and I know him now, and he's still an idiot. He's like, dude, do you know they've got your photograph at every City of Hickory office, any building that the City of Hickory owns, they have a bolo on you. I was like, what? He said they got my picture in different types with beard. An extreme example of what I look like, who I am. And it said, do not approach, armed, call law enforcement immediately. I'm like, why would they call armed men just because I came and asked questions? That's how terrified government is. And where the government fears you, you have liberty, but when you fear the government, you have tyranny. And in America right now, we have tyranny. Thus leading into my First Amendment query to the three people that are here, because I'm blocked everywhere else. I don't know if you guys heard TNET, T-E-N-E-T, TNET Media is now being indicted by Joe Biden's DOJ. Now, every time that election comes up, YouTube cracks down, Facebook cracks down, all the social media giants crack down when it's time for the Democrats to come into power. So, as you know, our DOJ has been using lawfare against many, many, many people. They used it against me years ago. That's how they took me. They took my children away from me, using lawfare. TNET Media supposedly, this is allegedly, has people in it from Russian TV, RT Media. RT used to be a TV channel. And they had Jesse Ventura on and a couple other good hosts. Lionel, the guy from the attorney out of New York. I can't remember his last name right now. But They would have him on it, and it was a news station. Well, when Joe Biden did the sanctions on Russia and Russian disinformation, they shut down RTTV. So RTTV approached Lauren Chin. Lauren Chin worked for Blaze Media, worked for Glenn Beck at Blaze Media, and said, hey, we want to invest money in you guys. We'll start a new conservative, right-leaning website. And what we'll do is we'll just take our money and we'll invest it in other channels. So she went and she gave Benny Johnson money, $100,000 just to sponsor the show. That's all it was. Is they wanted Tim from Tim Pool. They wanted him to sponsor his show. They wanted to sponsor Benny Johnson, the Donald Trump ass kisser, and Dave Rubin, the token gay guy on the right. So now the DOJ is indicting them for supposedly laundering money. I don't believe in anything the DOJ says in America. But this is something that you may not know and you need to know. If you've ever heard of the guy Mark Dice, he does the funny videos out of California, just a YouTuber on his laptop in his kitchen. He came out and did this hit piece on Tim Pool and Benny Johnson and all these other guys, because the only person that ever has Mark Dice on, and it's not an interview, it's just like a phone call, has been Alex Jones. And Mark Dice brags, I don't have time to go anywhere else. I don't need anybody else's channel. I built my channel all by myself. He's a really obnoxious Californian. So he made a video today attacking these people. Yeah, you're suckers. You took the money. You got paid off. Look, you're going to go down. They're going to take you down. And I noticed when Crowder was going through his garbage about 8-9 months ago with it, when someone leaked his surveillance camera of him supposedly verbally abusing his wife while his wife was doing some really shady crap in the background. And I'm like, listen, this is bad. I said, what happens in someone's house, you can take anything out of context. You guys saw me yesterday, and this is the thing yesterday, when I was going off about Mason being a jerk yesterday, every time I yell and scream and raise my voice, the traffic out in my front of my house will triple instantly. I started yelling and screaming because he's being an ass, and I went and sat down in the living room and I watched the surveillance camera, and just every black SUV in the world that you could imagine was riding down, boom, back and forth, non-stop. So here's Mark Dice attacking Crowder. Crowder's just a sellout. He's a woman abuser. I knew it. I'm going to try to take him down. And if you remember that the Daily Wire had the same hit team out to take Crowder down as well. That's what Crowder was going at it with Daily Wire, when the Daily Wire was trying to pretty much get him to sign his life over. So here Mark Dice, he's a weasel. He's an absolute weasel. He will kick anybody that he sees us down. This goes back to what I told you guys last week. I will never step on your head to get me higher. I mean, you can see how high I am now. 3 people watching my live stream. I'm to the moon, freaking Alice. But you've seen it when it was at 3,000 to 4,000 people on a live stream, right? So Mark Dice will cut anyone's throat he chooses. He'll cut their throats and don't worry about it. Laugh about it, make fun of them, and then look, this is a sucker, he's a sucker, that's a sucker, that's a sucker, this person's low down, this person's low down. I don't know why people do that. The left in America are so powerful because they have a script and they stick to it. When the CIA puts out the word weird and say, use weird tomorrow on the media, you saw it 2 weeks ago. Everybody in the Republican Party was weird. Everybody. Donald Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, was weird. Everybody on the right was weird because the media said so. They turned it on, just like Kamala Harris. She was an absolute loser until the debate, and they realized we got to get rid of Joe Biden. And the next day, after they decided Joe Biden wasn't going to be the president any longer, Kamala Harris was a hero. Democrats will stick together, and anytime they vote, it's strictly party lines. They will vote 100% every time. Just like the Civil Rights Bill, they voted 100% against it. Against it. Republicans can't do this. And this is what I've never understood about these morons in Congress. When they're doing these congressional hearings, they have 5 minutes. That's it. That ain't much time to do anything. Especially when you're interviewing a Democrat criminal who's like, I can't recall, or they're trying to filibuster and lie. That's no time at all to get out what you want to say. And the Republicans, there are a lot of guys on the right. I like John Kennedy, Senator Kennedy from Louisiana. I can listen to that man all day long. He's just old school, articulate Southern drawl, charm. Just charming Southern man like me. But they get up there and they run out of time. They don't get anything said. They don't get anything said. They don't get any questions asked that they need to ask. Why don't they just get together and say, you ask these questions, I'm running after you. Okay, you finish up mine, and go and finish up the whole list of questions instead of asking your own specific question. If nothing else, get together and find out, hey, you want to get this gotcha question? Do your gotcha question. Do all these things you need to do, but we need to get to the bottom of it. But what do they get done? Nothing. They have still yet to subpoena Joe Biden to congressional hearings. Still yet to get Barack Obama in there. They're doing all these investigations, and all they're doing is running out the clock. That's why nothing happens. Nothing will ever be accomplished. Ever. It's like now they've got the SAFE Act. Republicans in Congress passed the SAFE Act. What is that? Safe election, where you got to have voter ID. He goes to the Senate, and guess what? They ain't going to sign it. You see, every election is rigged. Just like when Donald Trump was in there, his first term, Paul Ryan was head of the Congress. And Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, no, they had Congress and the Senate. And what did they do the whole time? Nothing. They stalled everything. They wasted 2 straight years trying to take down Obamacare and got nothing done. And then they lose the House. They lose the House and they lose it. So now the House is up there now, and for 2 years, they've passed a couple good bills, but they've really got nothing done. There's no accountability. No one's went to jail. Nothing. Nobody ever gets in trouble on the Democrat side. They do what they want to do, and they get away with it. And that looks like my old truck. They get away with everything. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. What world are we in? It's literally like we're running the clock out. And listen, you see how powerless a president is. If a left-wing wacko attorney or judge in some far out land in Texas can say, Donald Trump, I'm not going to let you close the border. Every time Trump trying to do something, they'd shut him down. It's not supposed to work like this. It's not. But the problem is the Republicans don't have the balls to do the same things the Democrats are doing. They won't use the power of the purse. It's just like that. Just like when they want to get somebody in a hearing, that they won't subpoena them. They'll give them 6 months. We'll show up. Anytime you show up, let us know. Okay? Please, thank you. We'll see you see whenever you want to come. We'll see you. And then they'll wait until they never finally show and they never get the information they want. Then they'll finally send a subpoena. And even when people deny to show up for a subpoena, they don't do anything. But Steve Bannon is in prison right now because he didn't show up for Congress for an unlawful subpoena. Peter Navarro refused to show up for a congressional hearing because of an unlawful subpoena. The Democrats will cut your throat and leave you laying there in a puddle of blood and laugh about it and brag about it. But the Republicans, oh no, someone might call me a word. Nobody will stand up. And it used to frustrate me. My favorite congressman has ever been, or senator has always been Rand Paul. Rand Paul is Constitution to the word die. He's Constitution period. He's the only one, him and Mike Lee are the only ones who are, and Chip Roy are the only ones who are really fit, and Chip Roy I think is a congressman. He may be a senator. They're the only physically responsible, but no one else is. Spend the money. I mean, they predict by 2028, we're going to be like $30 trillion in debt. 30 trillion. Who we owe it to? Everybody. Everybody owes it. No, we owe it to China. Anybody in here? Anybody want to talk? I'm just going to talk to myself. I just don't understand where people on the right can't stick together. God's people won't stick together, mainly because hardly any of them are God's people anyway. But I do need to encourage you guys to do one thing. I watched the Russell Brand on Tucker Carlson last night. I'll tell you one thing. Russell Brand is absolutely born again and filled with the Holy Spirit. For an hour, him and Tucker was up there, and you could see the joy of Jesus Christ all over Russell Brand. He sat there and he preached for an hour on the stage. He preached so much at the end of the show in Phoenix, Arizona. At the end of the show, Tucker's like, "Will you please say a prayer?" And Russell Brand gets on his hands and knees. I mean, Russell Brand. I looked at that man, and he doesn't look even the same. Russell Brand was a heathenist. He was a satanic Moloch worshiping fool. He'd been to the highest of highs and lowest of lows. That man is born again, and he is saved. And I sat right there and I watched him, and I said, that man's got the joy of Jesus Christ in him. And I was like, Lord, please, Lord, let me have that joy. Let me have the joy that man's experiencing. Because I wasn't sure, because a lot of people, for years he's had a Jesus tattoo and a Buddha tattoo and then his 33rd degree Mason tattoo on one arm. But he just got up there and he was just going off for the Lord. We got to pray that he gets away from Rick Warren. Rick Warren is an evil man. He's one of these pro-homosexual pastors. He's one of these, let's put a woman in the pulpit. Rick Warren is evil. He has been bought and paid for by the satanic mafia. You guys should really watch that interview with Tucker Carlson and Russell Brand. Russell Brand was laying it down. He said, I've only been a Christian for 3 months. I don't know a lot, but that man's just sitting there talking about the Bible, and it is so. I'll be the first to admit, I in my heart don't feel that there's going to be a great awakening happening. I just doubt that there's going to be a revival in America. I guess it's just seeing so much evil that I'm so burnt to it. It just doesn't. But I am seeing so many people coming back to comment. I mean, Robert Kennedy Jr. You know what I mean? Who would have thought that man would have supported Donald Trump? I mean, he supports Israel. You know, I mean, all these people that are coming, not necessarily to the middle, they're coming to the right, because the left jumped the freaking shark. But it doesn't matter. They're going to win. But when you see all these people like Tulsi Gabbard, I think Tulsi Gabbard is sexy as the day is long. But she was a Democrat. And these moderates are getting destroyed by the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party, they're for nothing but the destruction of everything. You go to every Democrat-run city in America, well, especially the ones that's been run by a Democrat for at least 20 years. Or you could just plainly go to, I don't know, California and look at it and see the utter destruction everywhere. Nothing but death. This is the party that cheers for the murder of unborn babies. Death. They thrive on death. There's a lot of power in death and destruction. Just like when you're a targeted individual like me, back when I was rolling in it, I mean, up to my neck in targeting and vandalism and everyday playing and taking pictures and drones and just immersed in the targeting. I could not shake it enough to get a little fresh air, to get a little sunlight. And that's why I tell people, stay off looking up all these targeted individuals. They're so invested in figuring it out, invested in, got to get rid of it, or got to find a way to stop it. You're not going to stop it. The devil runs the show, and we're in America and the world. The devil runs the show. If you're being targeted. It is not going to stop. All you can do is put your faith in God, throw your hands up, say, all right, God, it's on you. You said you were going to protect me. God, you promised to protect me if I put my faith and trust in you. So that's what I've just decided to do. I mean, to be dead broke, it's up to God. He's got to figure it out. It ain't my problem. He told me once I give it to him, it's not mine. It's no longer my load to carry. But these people on the left, they hate you. They hate me. They hate the little guy. And I've never understood why people say the Democrats were always the party of the working man. I grew up at the time when that was starting to shift, but I never saw it as that. When people get up in government, they forget all about us. We're the enemy instantly. And it's just so appalling that if Americans weren't so stupid and they turn a TV off, then we would know what's up. We would know that our neighbors really don't hate us that much. People just treat us like we do. We don't hate each other. A lot of us are a lot in common. It's like the black community, man. They are so obsessed with superstars and status and famous people. I mean, they worship the ground that LeBron James walks on. LeBron James is a fallen angel. I don't care what you say. He is a demon. That he is not human. LeBron James is not human. Okay? He wasn't. Never was. These are people that have been around for thousands of years, just like Elon Musk. I was watching a video today. There's a tribe deep in the Amazon jungle, and they had no outside connection. Well, Elon Musk found out about them. They had no power. They had nothing. So what does Elon Musk do? He gives Wi-Fi, his Musk satellite dishes. He gives them free Wi-Fi, satellites, and everything. Gives them free access, gave them free cell phones. Within 9 months, it collapsed the entire village. Within 9 months, the men are addicted. Women are being abused. They're cheating on each other. They're beating each other up. They're now starving because no one wants to do anything but look at that little black box. That's America. That's America. Look, let me get this done. In this little village, though, those people are starving. They don't want to do the work anymore. Nobody go out. They want to hunt. They don't want to take care of crops. They don't want to do anything. Now they're overrun with just violence. They're overrun with depression. They're overrun with addiction. And no one wants to stop it. It is so, I'd say it's bizarre, but it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. Anyway, I'm at work. Thanks for being here, all 6 of you. All 3, 2, 1, 6 of you. If you want to come on later, let me know. I love you. God bless. Gotta get busy. Running out of daylight.